need for salvation is a very interesting thing, especially when people talk about their independence, their free will. If you need someone to save you, or you need a counter culture or mainstream culture savior, someone who validates your opinions, you're really a slave. Suffering from a disease, and the disease is that you have not understood that the problem is really your belief in external salvation beyond yourself. If you didn't need to feel this desire to have an authority figure or a celebrity or a politician validate and express your feelings, you wouldn't need these saviors in the first place. And this is the root of the problem. We are very carefully controlled from the time we're children to have a sort of the need for a savior.
There is no turning back. You got to face the truth. It's all you have to do. Hit the ground and run. Take a second glance towards the rising sun.
You grow up with that picture of Jesus Christ with his Dionysian beard and long hair, and his softness and his Aryan looks. And you believe that, deep in your subconscious, that this is someone you need. But you're missing the point completely. Believe. Culture. We have been given saviors in the belief they are our only path to salvation. To salvation is your own ass. Accept it and please deal with it.
There is no turning back. You got to face the truth. It's all you have to do. Hit the ground and run. Take a second glance towards the rising sun.
And welcome to episode 111 of the Velocity of Now, or VoN 111, with me, your host, Thomas Sheridan, here on the new dedicated Velocity of Now official YouTube channel. It's official because I've explained in the video it was becoming a mess, the Thomas Sheridan Arts channel. Things couldn't be found, and so the Velocity of Now has to get its own dedicated channel. Eventually, I will probably do what Howard Stern does and get some of the older ones and do a kind of a best of programs and load them up here also. But the ones that are on the Thomas Sheridan Arts channel remain forever. So you never have to worry about that unless YouTube or Google shuts down my channel. My website is thomassheridanarts.com, www.streetdruid.net, and I have another couple of YouTube channels I would like you to subscribe to. Along with Thomas Sheridan Arts, there is also Open Source Occult TV, which is where I'm uploading almost exclusively from now on all my interesting videos and anything I want to do talking about or covering or profiling the occult, including some full-length documentaries which are in the process of being made. Now, they're going to take some time because I'm writing a proper script. I'm going on location and I'm actually filming them with my new swanky Nikon camera, and I want to make them look right, seem right sound effects and everything. And because you saw the trailer for them, and that will be the kind of style it'll be in. Very much, I want to try and make them as sort of like old school Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious Worlds type of vibe to them. So if you can subscribe to that channel and this one, I'd appreciate that. Well, here we are at the end of 2016. A funny, strange year, very interesting year. I can't say it wasn't dynamic from my own point of view. It was very interesting in many ways. It was very productive in many ways, but it left me and just about everybody else feeling very worn down and tired. Energy, cosmic energy, I'm going to call it chi, prana, anything you want to call it, what Rupert Sheldrake calls it. I forget what he calls it. Rupert Sheldrake calls it I'll get back to me. Sorry, I'm half awake here. I've had a bit of cold this week. Faculty X is what Colin Wilson calls it. Morphic resonance. That's what Rupert Sheldrake calls it. There hasn't been a lot of it on demand this year. There seems to be a bit of an energy loss. It's not a bad thing. It's not an ominous thing, I don't think. I think it's sort of like the trough in the sine wave, where the energy level has dropped and it begins again. Of course, it's been an extremely interesting year. We had the Brexit thing that first happened in the UK, which blew my mind. I expected to wake up that morning and that Brexit had failed, and lo and behold, people who'd never voted in their lives in the UK had come out and passed Brexit. And if that wasn't amazing enough, later on we had the election of Donald Trump in the USA, which I openly supported. Not because I'm a Republican. I find that US Republican agenda pretty disgusting in many ways. But I liked him. I liked not so much even him as the person, but he was almost like the touch paper. I liked the energy potential that he represented. But the main reason I endorsed him was because I despised Hillary Clinton, and I always have all my life, a repulsive human being, dangerous human being, and God help us if she had got elected with her in the White House and Merkel in the Bundestag in Berlin. God help the world. The two of them would have started a war with Russia. I have no doubt about that. No doubt about it. She's they're both crazy individuals. They're both insane. But this is the time of the great reveal, because what we saw, and what one of the reasons I wanted, and you saw the old video that I made there during the year, I said vote Trump for Snowflake Geddon, and I knew it was going to happen, because these things reveal the people that we don't need in our lives. And I have to say, as a former lefty myself, I was quite shocked and amazed at how pathetic people from the left and liberal side behaved. First, it was bad enough with Brexit, although they had a bit of an arm-wringing festival with the murder of Joe Cox right before it. But the Trump thing as well, it was insane. It was insanity, and it was just dark. It was dark and creepy. And anyone who posted things on their walls saying, if you are happy about the election of Donald Trump, defriend me, and I did it, and others I know on my friends list did it as well. And then the same ones who posted this thing were sending us emails and PMs saying, why did you do that? Because it's not real to them. Their emotions are not real. Nobody can be really trusted with their emotions these days, especially when it comes to things like social media. There's real emotions, the emotions that you have when you're affected by a loss or a gain or an experience in your day-to-day life. And then there's the fake emotions, the sort of hallmark moment emotions. And they don't only operate in the sappy realm of sappy things, but they also exist within the outrage realms, the outrage. The idea is I'm outraged. I'm so outraged that that George Bush got elected. That Donald Trump got elected. I'm going to issue mandates upon my wall. Issue mandates upon my wall to get people off. And there was this kind of thing. And suddenly they all became like, the two characters I do on here sometimes, Anto and Deco. Danny, that Bush, that fucking Bush, I don't know why his name is fucking Bush. Well, how split. That fucking Trump, that fucking cunt, that fucking bastard. He'll start fucking World War fucking 3. What? He'll start fucking World War fucking 3. He's a fucking stupid. But why you fucking mean stupid? He fucking built a fucking business empire. That's because he's a fucking Jew. No, he isn't, you stupid fuck. He's a fucking Protestant. Oh, well, he's in the Illuminati. What? They all fucking hated him. Did not see his own fucking party, the Republicans. They didn't even fucking want him anywhere in the fucking... Look, he is a fucking bollocks, right? And I'll tell you why, right? He is against fucking black people. Are you out of your fucking mind? There's fucking thousands of fucking black people fucking working for him. And he fucking hates the gays. You fucking hate the fucking gays too. Yeah, I know, but I'm not a fucking president of the United fucking States. You fucking biggest fucking homophobe I fucking know. You the fuck. Shut the fuck up. He hates fucking immigrants. You stupid fuck. He's fucking a fucking immigrant. You stupid fuck. His wife, yeah. There's a fucking riot, yeah. But she's not really a fucking immigrant. What? She's a fucking Illuminati. But she's from fucking Slovenia or some fucking place where all those fucking hot women come from. Not fucking from Tala. What the fuck is wrong with the women from fucking Tala? Well, they don't fucking look like women for fucking starters. You're all fucking jealous. That's your fucking problem. You see what's happening with you, fucking Anto? Here's what's really fucking going on with you. You're a fucking loser. You're a fucking failure, right? And then you're fucking projecting all your fucking failures as a man. You can't fucking bang. You never fucking banged a woman that looked like a fucking woman. You fucking never had a fucking real job. You had a fucking doll on your fucking move. You've never fucking done anything fucking successful. Remember the fucking time you ran for politics? I came sixth in the ballot. There was only fucking 6 in the fucking ballot, and the only fucking country voted for you was your fucking mom. You're just projecting onto your fucking... You're all projecting on your own fucking failures onto fucking Trump. I'm not. You fucking are. Am I? Yeah. How am I? I'm your fucking friend. And let me fucking tell you, you're not living up to your potential as a man. Really? Really? Yeah, you're not fucking living up to your fucking potential, really. And because of this, you are full of failures. And you fucking
Ah, but I'm not a fucking failure. I fucking support whatever team wins the English fucking Premier. No, you're a fucking loser. Now listen, let me explain fucking something to you, right? This is called psychologicals, right? Psychology, I mean, right? What this this is a thing called fucking projection, right? You're jealous of someone, so what you do is you project your feelings onto them, and that's what you've done with Trump. And Deco makes a very good point there, because that's what. That's what. Thanks very much, Thomas. You're welcome, Deco. Deco makes a very good point there about that. That a lot of this stuff is based on the fact that you must hate Trump because he's rich, wealthy, and successful and banging a famous wife, a hot wife, and therefore he's like he has achieved these things on his own moxie, on his own ability. Sure, his father made some money, but his father started out working class, so still has enough working class in him to get what he wanted. And so the likes of people who can't have what he has achieved and don't and can't get there have to turn him into some kind of monster. This is to project in your own. See, the thing is, when you hate someone the first for no reason, that never done anything. If you hate someone that has never done any harm to you, the first thing you're doing is projecting your own shadow upon them. Really, but like you fucking hate Hillary Clinton, Anto. Listen, I don't hate Hillary Clinton because she's a person or a woman or she's married to that fucking Bill Clinton. I hate her because when I look at her, I see evil. Now, Anto, when you look at Trump, do you see evil? Well, you fucking don't. Yeah, see, Deco's right. You don't see evil. What Anto sees is his own failings. Exactly, exactly. And the world is full of people like this. The world is full of people who project their failings onto others, famous people. And a lot of it has to do with economic envy. A lot of it has to do with that, but also has to do with sexual envy. It's like looking, the average person who hates Trump will look at him, and think to himself, I wish I could be him. Now, you'll say, why are all these Hollywood stars against him and all this stuff? Because they're all successes in a fake world. We'll talk about this later, why stars and Hollywood people are all vanishing, and dying. They're part of a make-believe world. But Trump isn't. He's part of the real world, right? He's part of the 5 cents reality. He builds buildings. He constructs jobs. He employs people. He manufactures things. He builds energetic forces within the 5 cents reality. Hillary Clinton, being a politician, has never done that. She's a lawyer. Nothing wrong with lawyers or anything like that. I'm just saying that's not a constructive process in terms of delivering a creative, shall we say, tangible thing at the end. Everything she's about is about bureaucracy. And anyone who knows anything about me knows that bureaucracy is something I feel really scared of, because bureaucracy is where mediocrity triumphs. Bureaucracy is where pathology is fed and nurtured. And this is what happens here. Is Trump an asshole? Probably on many levels he is. But so lots of leaders in history would look up to would be assholes, and many of them much worse. For instance, I keep hearing people going on about Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was a genocidal psychopath. And not just one or two occasions, we're talking about several theatres of conflict around the world. And then the statues of him and people, I know liberals who post comments by Churchill as if it's some great liberal mind, and you don't fucking know the guy's a genocidal madman. And he was an anti-Semite too. And so people, no one's perfect. See, this is another thing to do today because of this whole idea of stars. Stars and movie stars they're perfect. They're perfect in how they look. They're perfect in how they're presented, right? We don't expect anyone in the spotlight, literally, to be perfect as well on that level. And if they have any flaws, the flaws are somehow to be used to validate their humanity. So therefore, Hillary Clinton's flaws in the eyes of these people is proof that she's a wonderful human being. Hillary Clinton's flaws to me, as a passive observer, is that she's a psychopath and that her pathology comes bursting to the surface. Trump's flaws, and there are many, is proof that at the very worst he's an asshole. Now, I'd rather have an asshole with the finger on the button than someone who's never known anything other than bureaucracy, that sees other politicians and other political forces as rival bureaucracies. What does Trump see them as? Potential business clients to take over. That's a much healthier world to be living in. A much healthier world to be living in. A much safer world. Also, I told you when I noticed, first of all, that there was something. I thought the whole Trump presidential thing was just a joke. When it first broke, I had no interest in politics. Fucking Mickey Mouse could have been president of the United States. I wouldn't have given a shit. But I saw something about him, and what really did it for me was the reaction towards him. You see, it's not the ball that makes a baseball player amazing. It's the ferocity at which he hits the bat. So when you ever see something being hit with a ferocious amount of energy, you pay attention. If it's really visceral and intense and seems to be for no reason, you pay very close attention. And I saw Trump being engineered into a diabolical monster he clearly wasn't by people like movie stars, Bono, Robert De Niro, all these other types, Whoopi Goldberg. People don't live in the real world. They do not know what the real world is. And this, to me, on an archetypal level, was extremely interesting. Then, when I saw how the pro-Trump side, the deplorables, they played a blinder. And then we saw the rise of Pepe meme magic. And then when I saw this thing start to manifest, I knew right there and then, this guy is part of something incredible. This guy is part of some incredible, magical destiny. Does that mean he's a messiah figure or he's some kind of great wizard? No. But he may be the one who rips the skin inadvertently off the illusion, pulls this curtain off the stage, and exposes the sores of everything. And this is what the great fear is. These people are so terrified, and I'm not saying that Trump will be a wonderful. Look, all Trump has to do to be a great president for 4 years or 8 years is to create jobs. That's all he has to do, and he's a guy that could do that and create and get the world's economy going better. That's all he has to do. He doesn't really have to do much else. Probably just like he doesn't have to even worry about ISIS. I think the Russians are taking care of ISIS now, and he seems smart enough to keep his foot off the pedal there and just let the Russians finish up in Syria what they started. But when you have these things happening, these energetic explosions, again, potentials are released, opportunities are unleashed, and things come out for the better for anyone who has a creative insight, especially an artist person, but anyone who's creative in any kind of way, wants new business ideas and so on, they need these kinds of energy. So what we saw towards the end of the Trump thing was the old energy represented by Hillary Clinton. That's the old paradigm falling before our eyes. This is why all these celebrities are also dying at the moment. Celebrities have lost their power. There's no power anymore. Anyone can be a celebrity these days. Andy Warhol's prophecy came true. That's dying off. You saw like the whole Hollywood entertainment industrial complex, every Miley Cyrus, George Clooney, Lady Gaga, they didn't only support Hillary Clinton, but they absolutely rallied around her. The hero of the working class American, Bruce Springsteen, all of them. And how did it end up? She suffered a crushing, humiliating defeat among mainly white, blue-collar, working-class white folks. What used to be the core of the Democratic Party in terms of getting them elected, although they generally were at one time an inclusive party that had black people and Jews and stuff, but predominantly in the numbers game in terms of getting into the White House, it would have been white working-class Americans, whom, since Bill Clinton and NAFTA, have been obliterated in terms of having power. And Trump played that very well. And these are the people who've been silent all these years. They weren't particularly gung-ho for any politician, but these were the ones who were unleashed by the Keck magic, the Pepe memes, the mimics. These are the ones who were released by that. It's almost like they had a rope around. You know what they were like? They were like, and this is where I describe them. Do you remember in the first Lord of the Rings film, you have the king of the Rohan, and he's in a kind of he's been possessed by Saruman, and Gandalf walks up to him and starts whispering in his ears, and you see the evil falling out of him as the words start to make sense, and then he rises up and takes control of his kingdom again, and then he throws out Grima Wormtongue. Well, that's what happened exactly what happened. Firstly, in the UK with what's his name, Nigel Farage, just talking straightforward talk, things people that thought they'd never hear from politicians ever again. And you could call it grubby, ugly, populist stuff, but it doesn't change the fact that it's true and it works. And Trump did the same in the USA. He awakened the working class from their sleep, the white working class of America from the sleep. The sheer terror that this unleashed is apparent to how these people were spoken about, not only by Clinton's side calling them deplorables, but also by the liberal media claiming that they're all Nazis and white trash. I've started, it's sickening. It was sickening to watch like my Facebook wall and all these like liberal types, lefties, posting memes like or little articles from stupid elitist websites like Salon and the Huffington Post, portraying a white working class family in West Virginia or in Michigan or the Rust Belt, anywhere, as Nazis just because that's what they are and they voted for Trump. They don't understand how magic works. Trump does. I absolutely believe in my heart and soul that Trump does understand that there's some kind of magical force behind him. And this is how he was able to dispel with great ease these phenomenal psychic attacks that were sent towards him in the media. To further underpin that we're dealing with a magical battle, we had the whole Podesta Pizzagate Comet Ping Pong Pizza thing. As the Wicked Witch of the South was defeated, her sorcerers, Podesta and co., were shown to be the bunch of freaks that they are with the spirit cooking and all this. Now, I do believe, at first I didn't believe there was anything to the occult aspects of that. I really didn't. I thought it was, I've seen enough manky outsider art in my life to know that that's these people are like. But I also know that on some level, that all these celebrities and all these other people who attend these kind of Marina Abramovich's spirit cooking and other performances involving blood and bodies and all this kind of thing, these banquets that are based on sort of like Romanesque bacchanalias where they have heads sticking up out of tables and it's all mock cannibalism. I know that those people who attend these things may be going on about, oh, it's so trendy and all this stuff, but they're being damaged at a very deep, dark level. Very deep. In fact, there's a series of photographs that shows one of these sort of like bacchanalias that she's running, and the actor Will Ferrell is pictured at the table with some person's head sticking up out of the table, like supposed to be a head on a banquet, and you can see his soul literally falling out of his shoes by his expression on his face. This stuff damages you at the energetic level, and these were the kind of people who were supporting Hillary Clinton and calling ordinary working class and lower middle class and middle class Americans Nazi white trash. These people are so decadent and so out of touch that we're seeing the classic example of the end of an empire phase. This is what's happening. It's how the energy is changing. And that's why I hope members and people listen to this show, I don't care if you supported Clinton or Bush, but know this. There's a phenomenal amount of energy now coming into this reality. All these celebrity deaths are the end of one part of the cycle. Trump is part of another. It doesn't matter what Trump is doing with his cabinet, who he's enlisting. What's happening now is you have to grab this wave like a surfboard and jump on it and start to ride it. This is why I encourage anyone who's thinking of starting a business. This is a good time to do it. You're getting in at the ground floor level. If you wanted to always work for yourself, maybe start off doing it part-time or something like that. If you wanted to always do a simple project, like you've always want to learn to play guitar and you're in your 50s, go learn how to play guitar. Anything. But I think you're going to find anyone who's aware that this chaos, remember everything real. You see, when you reduce down the universe down to its first, you reduce the universe down, 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 you get waves. Everything is a wave, right? A sine wave, right? You go below that, everything is chaos. Everything is chaos. The waves emerge from the chaos. And that's what's going to happen with people like us who are willing to jump on this wave. This is half the reason I've started this new VoN channel. It's time to begin new projects. It's time to begin new things. Now, don't expect it to instantly take off. That's a lie you've been sold. Energy and movements of energetic cycles are rhythmic fluctuations. Remember, you look at the beginning of a sine wave, there's a very slow climb up and the attack part of the wave. Then it shoots up almost vertical. And then at the top, there's a slow progression. We have to try and squeeze as much of our, and then like everything else, it falls off. But the secret of success is to make the most of the attack wave, so you glide down on the decay of the wave. A good analogy would be someone who wins the lotto, right? There's two people wins the lotto, right? The first person, the initial thing was they think to themselves, oh, I'm going to spend money, both of them. And then after a little while, someone says to them, this is not satisfactory. I'm not really doing anything energetic with this money. So they either give it away to charity, or if they're really smart, they start a business or set other people up in business. And then they go from being rich to being wealth. Wealth is very, very different than being rich. Very different. And they're establishing a legacy where the other person who wins the lotto, they go mad spending it, go crazy. And if they don't spend it all in their own lifetime, if they don't do anything meaningful with that money, then it will kill them. It will kill them. It will destroy them in some way. Because they have not, you see, because the winning of those lotto numbers was chaotic. They did not manage the chaos well. They let the chaos submerge them and kill them. We can learn so much from the old alchemists of the Middle Ages, and even like the Chinese alchemists. The whole thing, that's a process. You're not going to create the gold from the base substance immediately. You're going to have to go through specific steps. It's like waking up and everything else. There's no use screaming that, like, you see a video of some event and you figure out, oh, they killed JFK, and then thinking you're awake and you know it all. You don't know dick. You don't know dick. You only know that much, right? But that's not the beginning of the end of your knowledge path. That's just the opening door into the library. That's just the opening door into that library. And then from that point on, you can begin waking up. You don't wake up right away. This is one of the big mistakes they all make, because they all think they're awake. I'm not awake. I got my first book on the occult when I was 11. I gave an obscene gesture 2 fingers to a Catholic church when I was 12. I was awake at a very early age. Waking up at a very early age, and I'm still not awake. So what makes you, that's, up until last year, taught you, all you were interested in was football and X Factor and all that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's all you knew. And then you suddenly see a conspiracy video, and now you think you're awake. You're not anywhere near awake. Not even close. You're just stepping on the road. You're like the fool card, right? I don't know who it was, someone once described me as being like the dog on the fool card. The dog trying to warn the fool, take it easy, don't go all, idealistic and all kind of evangelical and walk off the cliff edge. Take your time doing it properly. And that's a lot. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think that I do feel that way a lot. I get a reputation as being an asshole in this alternative media scene. Why? Because I'm honest with people. You'll never see me jump on the latest bandwagon. If the flat Earth stuff came along, I would look at it and says bullshit, and then I say it's bullshit. And that's the end of it. Now, other people may believe the Earth is flat. I'm not going to sit down and interrogate them and tell them to change their beliefs. I'm not a fascist, but I'll just deal with that, and that's the end of it. Same with anything else. But I won't pretend, like so many of the parasites in the scene, to find it interesting or even bring it up in order to get donations, PayPal donations. I'll never do that to you. And this is why I have a reputation of being an asshole, because I treat you like an adult. I treat you with respect. And people don't want respect. It's like the Israel thing. I'm somehow, because I'm in alt media, I'm supposed to hate Israel and the Israelis. There's a lot more countries out there than Israel. The United States, for starters, under the Clintons and Obamas, was much worse in the whole history of Israel put together. There's Iran, which hangs gay people off construction cranes and forces their mothers to watch. There's aspects of Israel I don't like, but I'm not going to hate it. Not bothered by it. It's not even on my radar that much. It doesn't matter to me. But yeah, if I was to do weekly programs about that, I would be, getting more. I'd be getting PayPal donations. It's all about energy, folks, and getting money, because I'd be playing on people's emotions. I'm not looking for your emotions other than your joy and your creativity. Apart from that, I don't need anything else. Just need your interest. Another one is the Hampstead thing. Some lunatic on Christmas Day. Imagine this. Imagine it's Christmas Day, and all you have in your life is to update your Hampstead satanic pedophile page on Facebook. That's all you have. No friends, no family, nothing around you. Just your Hampstead hoax fetish. He PMs me and says, "So have you done a 180 on Hampstead?" And I says, "What?" And he says, "Put on your glasses and read that again." Real fucking arrogant. I immediately blocked the prick. But this is Christmas Day, and this is what he's up to. I'd never do that. I immediately I knew the Hampstead thing was bullshit because there wasn't evidence there. Even good subjective evidence. But when I saw the Pizzagate thing, a lot of things clicked into place. Now, you see, that's a difference between me and others. The other alt media gurus will lie to you and tell you what you want to hear. I'll tell you what I believe. Hampstead is a hoax. Pizzagate isn't. That's the end of it. Based on what? Based on the evidence. Based on hunches. You're never going to know the full truth about these things. But Pizzagate, at first, I just thought this is dodgy, but it's just freaky outsider art shit. And then started looking to it more, particularly about this Thanatos kind of aspect to it. Thanatos is the sort of prepubescent young boy get archetype of the Hellenic world. And there seemed to be a lot of that energy around these people around this whole Pizzagate thing. Very unsettling to me, where I saw nothing to do with that Hampstead. All you got in Hampstead was two kids who'd been clearly coached by an asshole mother who had a history of being a serial false accuser, and her boyfriend who was an absolute piece of shit and had actually been accused of child abuse before this. Saying these things, and there was no evidence. There has to be evidence. There has to be something more than just someone's word for something. And we didn't get that. But lo and behold, with like Comet Pizza, what do we get? Extremely high political connections. That didn't exist in Hampstead. What do we have? We have the places, the Comet Ping Pong Pizza stuff, and all these high-ranking politicians in Washington, D.C. saying it's their favorite restaurant. Have you ever been to Washington, D.C.? Washington, D.C. is famous for all kinds of restaurants. It's the restaurant capital, probably, after New York, of the U.S., because of all the diplomats and all the politicians there, all the entertainment that goes on. They have fantastic restaurants of every kind. And you're telling me that these high-ranking people rallied around to protect something that was like a kiddies pizza parlor aimed at kiddies? See, that was another one. That didn't exist in Hampstead. Secondly, because we knew the names of the people involved, we were able to look at their lives, and we were able to see their weird interest in bizarre paintings and sculptures of children being tortured or sexualized or just weird and odd in some way. We had a third thing, right? But we had none of that at Hampstead. We had a hell of a lot of it at Pizzagate. And that's why I didn't believe Hampstead, and I do believe Pizzagate. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Because there wasn't a body of supporting, I won't use the word evidence, but hunches there to actually fill it up. And also, I could look at it objectively. And then even stranger things appeared, like it turns out that there's an actual subway line, an old underground trolley line, trams we call them here in Europe, that went underneath the place. And then there's paintings in your man Podesta's private collection of children bound half naked against tiled walls that look just like the tiled walls in the painting and in the subway station underneath his facility. Now you see, understand now why I didn't believe Hampstead, but I'm willing to see that there might be something to Pizzagate. I won't lie to you for those reasons. I won't make these stories up. What you hear on this show and any other interviews I do or anything else or read on my website is what I actually truly believe at that time. If evidence comes along to change things, I'd be the first to say. In fact, when the Pizzagate thing, my first thing was, it's all crazy outside of art bullshit. And then it wasn't. So I just said to people, I made a mistake. I was wrong. I think there is a cult aspect to this. And there's definitely something creepy going on with it regarding children and sexualizing and torture S&M with kids in terms of the artistic aspects of it, shall we say. And that was it. That was the end of that. So this has been an amazing year. And I mean, there's other things have happened. But I found this year so interesting because it's kind of validated a lot of the work that I've done. I mean, it's in terms of the psychopathic control grid. I also want to be talking more on this show about psychopathic stuff and other things like that. But it's brought a lot of my work full circle. There's something not right about powerful people and bureaucracies. There's something about them and pedophilia. We had this case a few years ago in Portugal where basically a sizable proportion of wealthy people involved in government were involved in the worst kind of pedophilia involving children's homes. We had a massive arrest in Canada. If it's going on in 3 countries, 3 civilized Western countries, it's going on everywhere. It's going on everywhere. See, one of the fatal flaws the people who were pissed off that I turned against the Hampstead thing made was they were under the assumption that I didn't believe that these rings didn't exist. I absolutely know bloody well these powerful paedophile rings exist. Absolutely, I know they exist without a shadow of a doubt. But you cannot be highlighting the ones that don't have any real substance to them other than bullshit. And kids talking on camera, coached on camera, will say anything they want, and that's bullshit. And that allows the real ones to get away. And that's what made me so mad about the Hampstead thing when it was going down, is because there was a real case that was going on at the same time of a politician, a British politician, under investigation for murdering a 14-year-old boy at an S&M sex party. And yet that was all forgotten because of Hampstead. So eyes on the prize when these things go down. Don't jump up there and assume because they're people in positions. And there was no position, and no one in any position of power. I should have told you at Hampstead. You see, it was satanic panic all over again. There was no one with any great power involved in the Hampstead thing. None at all. It's just bullshit. Just bullshit. We've had a convulsive period since the Trump thing, and it's only going to change. Now, people say, all these celebrities are dying now in vast numbers. And it's not because of the age thing either. George Michael wasn't that old. Carrie Fisher was only 60. They're dying because they're not needed anymore. They all came out to support the Wicked Witch of the South. And celebrity has lost its power from everything from social media to Big Brother and all these other TV shows. Being a luminary means nothing anymore. And one of the last worlds to play this game in was big time politics. And they've even lost that now. They've even lost that. They could be statesmen. They knew that nobody cared about them beyond like just entertain me and go away. They could be they all long to be political statesmen or stateswomen, getting involved in the Council of Foreign Relations like what was his name? George Clooney or Bono hanging out in the White House. They're all obsessed with this stuff, Geldof. But even that's all fading now. They've lost that world. They're irrelevant. They're not important anymore. They're fading. People like me and many people in alt media are actually continuing to take their place. They're not needed anymore. Don't talk about things you don't understand because you're friends with a certain politician or you went to their wedding or something like that. This is what these celebrities are like. They all said they were going to move to Canada if Trump won. None of them moved. Just like I can remember, I don't know who it was, happened in England. All these politicians said they were going to move to leave England if some politician there was elected. They were elected and they never moved. The celebrities have to understand that they're not special. Just because mentally ill people might be obsessed with them doesn't mean that the rest of us are. They haven't figured that out yet. They just have not figured that out yet. And that's why they're starting to learn it now the hard way because of their endorsement of the Wicked Witch of the South. But it's not happening for them. It's not going to get them there. I'm not going to get them into any position where they can actually have a meaningful influence over society anymore. It's failed miserably. And it's a good thing. Because instead of they were used as patsies in a way. They were used as it's very easy for a politician, a big time politician, to have a celebrity and think to themselves, this celebrity, he comes or she comes from a working class background. Therefore, he's the representative, and this person is a multimillionaire. This is bullshit. Bono played that angle for years. And it's backfired on them very badly. I wouldn't want to have his legacy of anything other than being in a rock band, but it's unfortunately, he was more talented than someone like Geldof. But they never learn. The ego takes control of them. They all and a lot of them is because of Christianity. Bono is a very devout Irish Protestant. So he's a missionary. He has a missionary psychosis. He has this idea of being a missionary. He's helping the black man in Africa first. And now he's helping the poor people around the world. He's a Protestant minister. But he, like the rest of them, he oversteps his mark. And he's really just colonizing people in a different way. When he sits down with the Gates Foundation, it's just a new form of colony. He's no different than Cecil Rhodes in that regard. No different. And the old stereotype of missionary soup, where the missionary ends up in the pot of soup. It's going to end up like that for him. And it's a tragedy too, because he has a lot going for him in other ways musically. Like the U2 were not a bad band when they first started. And even since their early days, have had some good records. We're always going to remember him as the Presbyterian missionary. Celebrities can be useful for highlighting things at certain ways, but then they have to step away. And they make the fatal flaw of going to politicians every time. Now, at the moment in Dublin here, there's something quite interesting going on in a place called Apollo House. It's an old, horrible 1960s office block that's due for demolition that some developer bought during the boom. The economy went down, and the government now owned the building under a kind of a government NGO called NAMA. And the building is due for demolition. Now, Dublin has, like all our cities today, has a large homeless problem. And so a couple of Irish celebrities and so on, and people well known in Ireland, got together and turned it into basically a homeless shelter. Good idea, good intentions. But you can see already that they're starting to lack plan B. Putting up the homeless on Christmas and feeding them and raising them some money is a lovely idea. But you've got to have what's next. Singing a few songs is not going to solve the problem of homelessness. Homeless people need a specific path to back into society. A bed and washing facilities and food is stage one. After that, you look to get them off the streets and back into society again. I hope the people at Apollo House, who apparently have raised €160,000 so far, will start now looking at this. Singing a song on the roof of a building is not enough. We have got to start doing, like, we're in alt media. Some of us are a great example of what's happened. When we came along, we were nobody, and then we eventually replaced the mainstream media. The mainstream media is dead now. It has no power. When I say meaningful, I mean in the fact that the information isn't just what they hear between a commercial or a Lady Gaga song. It actually sits within people's consciousness and remains there. It remains in their consciousness. So therefore, alt media, or what they're calling fake news, has done what I said when I first started on Type 1, doing the Velocity of Now, 3-4 years ago. I remember saying to Nick there, Sonic, I said to him, we have to ignore the mainstream media. No matter what they publish or what they print, what we have to do is create a secondary media that runs alongside and basically takes over their audience. And we've done it. Look at the power that Alex Jones and the audience that man reaches now. It's incredible. We've done it. Now we have to start doing it with government. So this Apollo House place is an ideal chance to do that. Instead of, highlighting the issue of homelessness and feeding people over the Christmas, all very nice, the next stage would be to actually use that money to start doing one or two people to begin with, not all of them, and start moving them back into society. Get them a roof over their head, get food on their tables, and now start doing things like getting them a suit, get them job interviews, get them sorted out, get them resumes, get them mobile phones so they can actually be called when they're going on job interviews. It's the little shit that matters. It's the little things that solves the world. And then we have something incredible. We have alt government. Because now we're actually doing what the government is supposed to do, and we're ignoring them. And we're doing it ourselves. And this is a beautiful thing. This is why, as much as they're going to try and use that ridiculous idea of everyone getting a basic income to kill off cash, you will see alternative banking go up. People do either find a way of bartering, but we'll start minting our own coins, and it won't only be Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I have mixed feelings about it. I think on some levels it's a great idea, on some levels it's still very dangerous and dodgy. But the idea, someone will start minting coins. Look, when drugs are illegal, we can flood the world in drugs. There's nothing to stop us I don't, but the world is, no matter how illegal the drugs or how big the drug war was, no matter where you were in the Western world, you get any drug, rural or urban, that you needed. I can see the same thing happening with coinage and hard money. If they try to go cashless, an alternative bank will be created, an alternative mint of coins, and people will start working out exchange rates between themselves, and value rates and valuation rates between themselves. They can't win. We have, as this first hour of the show comes to a close, just think what we've done this year. The Trump election owes everything to ordinary people who never voted in their lives, who don't even particularly love or care about Trump, but wanted to smash the old bureaucracy system. And they did it. They did it. The same with Brexit in England. We in the alt media finally did. We became the deplorables here. Our websites and our media outlets are getting the bigger hits than the mainstream. They're dead. Look at Patrick Hennison's website. You look at Alex Jones' Infowars. You just look at Paul Michael Joseph. You just look everywhere. It's getting Breitbart. And I'm not an alt-right person, and I wouldn't be into that thing. But we've replaced the mainstream media. We're on our way. The Great Awakening is happening. It didn't happen because some truth guru stood on a stage with his arms spread apart saying, get off your knees and, or wait, here comes the Messiah, or any of this crap, or the UFOs or the aliens are coming. Disclosure is coming. It's happened because people rolled up their sleeves and created an alternative media in a true sense, and that eventually replaced the mainstream media. Let's do that now in other things. Cinema, arts, film, the lot. Let's do it in that way. We're on our way now. You should be taking some tremendous satisfaction from this. That they had to go as far as developing this new idea of fake news in order to try and shut us down. But it won't. They're finished. They're doomed. We won. And we're continuing to win. Also, the use of the occult. I was one of the few people, much of the bashings I used to get in this scene, telling people to learn about the occult, stop being terrorized by Christian loonies, and learn how occult and magic works. And lo and behold, we saw what happened with Keck and the Memetics. They used that. There were occultists, magicians, shamans, witches, warlocks, solitary practitioners, sorcerers all over this world who were actually working to bring Hillary Clinton down. Not because they loved Bush, but they knew evil when they saw it. They knew evil when they saw it. And they did it. And that's why our health was failing and everything, because people were not going to put up with it. Not going to put up with it. So that's the end of the first hour. And I'll see you in the second hour of this New Year's special as we approach the midnight hour. And I hope you enjoyed the first hour. And I hope you can subscribe to this new channel. And let's keep this going. In the second hour, I'm going to talk about something, well, basically sleep paralysis and an experience I had where I saw an Egyptian god. So stay tuned for the second hour. And continually feck them if they can't take a joke. Starty!